What up, y'all? I don't know. I'm about to start doing more just flowing, talking with y'all. Shit like that. Always speak with a level of awareness, intelligence, and consciousness, but change that teacher-student dynamic, you know what I mean? Just talk with the people, on a level that's relatable, always, and understandable amongst all people, you know what I mean? Because truthfully, at the end of the day, this shit is... I do a lot of thinking, and I need an outlet. Because truth be told, personally, in my own opinions, as a black man, it is really a black man. It is really hard to be motherfucking heard. It's just what it is. So this is more of therapy than anything. Whether people hear this or not doesn't mean much to me. But, I live in the reality of things. You feel me? Like, I'm a realist through and through. Like, I'm in the illusion, but I don't play dumb or foolish or crazy on any degree. So, when I speak on the world through my perception, it's based on reality, and a lot of people believe or think whatever. People think that they know what reality is until you get into conversations with them and you come to the realization people know the world through their music, through movies, through TV, and then on the back end of that, on the other side of that pendulum, a lot of people don't know anything outside of their city. A lot of people don't know anything outside of their room. So you mix social media with that isolated nature, When you see it in a mass amount of people, it becomes it becomes frustrating to deal with, It becomes something that's at times hard to tolerate because there are real world, there's reality and then there's TV. There's reality and then there's music. You know what I mean? There's reality and then there's art, culture. You know what I mean? Like, what happened in real world time and, what they and what's going on TV are they correlate, but it's not, you can't live through that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to, research what happened in real world time. You know what I mean? You have to research events in history. You have to understand, where concepts come from. You know what I mean? Why murder, where murder comes from. You know what I mean? Why, politics and its origins and, being in tune with reality is not as living in the real world is really not as bad as people make it out to be. It's just the past has so much, darkness and corruption in it. We're doing everything to never mind it, on an individual scale, on a universal scale. And it's becoming harder and harder to deal with reality because we are literally every day trying our best to never mind what really happened on this planet. And it's terrible in its detail. Yes, absolutely. We didn't get here through, loving each other and hugging each other and understanding, and you know what I mean. That's not how we got here, but we need to embrace that as a people. You know what I mean. we need to embrace what happened on this planet, you know, and you know, yes, there are and in the reality of the situation, there's really nobody finger to point at but ourselves. Like, it's us destroying each other. It's us, you know, messing each other up. You know, it's us corrupting each other. It's us being vile to each other. It's us betraying each other. Nobody's really forcing us to do anything. Even when we talk about the black man's slavery, the slavery of the black family, you know what I mean, or the black woman, or the black child, or black, you know, of black people, because everybody's been enslaved. That's just the facts. But, you know, everybody's slavery came in different spices, but it's all the same. And it's like, even in that slavery, it's like, nobody forced those people to be slaves. They could have died about that shit. I'm not saying nothing about, you know, Kanye and slavery was a choice thing, but in reality, I'm talking about reality, you understand? See, I'm not talking about what Kanye said. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people would gravitate towards Kanye before they gravitate towards the reality of what he was actually talking about. You know what I mean? And then the reality of the situation is, you know, none of us have to be enslaved. None of us had to be conquered. We could have put it all on the line and see if our enemy was willing to, you know, burn it all to the ground to do what he was doing. You know what I mean? It was really a test of, it's really always been a test of willpower. It's always been a test of morality, of integrity. You know what I mean? Like, do you, you know, are you truly righteous? Are you truly a good person? You know? And, you know, living in reality, you know, there's nobody to blame. It's just time to be better. It's just, you know, time to grow in a collective. And, you know, the farther we try to run from the reality of things, we're driving ourselves into psychotic breaks. We're having mass psychotic episodes, and people are wigging out on in all over the world on grand scales, and it's just chaos all over. But it's because we are choosing the illusion and not paying attention to the side effects of the illusion. We're choosing the illusion every time, and then we're asking ourselves why we are the way we are. It's like you didn't have to choose the illusion. If you know, gravitated to the reality of who you are and how we got to where we are, and, you know, gravitated towards the reality of who the people, you know, who the individual people are around you. You know, if we stop trying to trick ourselves, because that's all we're doing is tricking ourselves. You know, if we stop trying to trick ourselves, just live in the reality. It's like, this shit is not that. It's not bad at all. Like, the world is a beautiful place if we collectively live in that understanding. You know what I mean? You know, if we stop bringing silly arguments like culture and language and, you know, and just live in the what the hell happened on the planet. You know, and once, you know, when you can live in it, it becomes something that you don't have to speak about. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you live in something, like, all right, to practice what you preach is very important, because practicing it is way more important than actually, you know, doing what I'm doing right now. I live in the reality of what I'm talking about before I was able to make this video and speak to you about it. You see what I'm saying? I live in the reality of things. You know what I mean? I'm not pro-black. I'm not none of that. I'm a realist. I live in real life, you know. And us as a collective, we gotta come to that, you know. We gotta forget the Bible. You know what I mean? Forget religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, just research what happened every single year from now. All right, do this. You know, whenever you please. Look up major events of every year, major events of 2021, major events of 2022, major events of 2019, major events of 2018, so on and so forth. Research every year and break down all major events that happen every year. You know what I mean? And, as a collective, embrace the reality of what has happened. You know what I mean? It's research. It's digging, it's dissecting, it's weeding out the crap, it's weeding out all the bullshit. But eventually embracing the events that are happening on the planet, and gravitating towards that instead of what your TV is telling you, instead of what your music is telling you, instead of what the illusion is influencing you to think. You know what I mean? The Democrats are not these liberals. You know what I mean? We understand this by now. That illusion is done. You know what I mean? Like, how, you know what I mean? But it's time to live in that. It really is. So, short video. I don't want to talk too much longer. This is, good for me. I do what's good for me, always. Y'all be good.